I had a conversation with one of my aunts years ago, and she was talking about how people love to watch movies and read books, but the best stories come from conversation. And it makes sense because the books and the movies that are put out are all written by people. And some of the best stories are based on real life events. I think of stories from the Bible, how it was just people living their normal day-to-day lives like you and I, but their stories were documented, and years later, like millennia later, people can look back at their stories, find meaning in their stories, find sermons from their stories, misinterpret their stories, find symbols from their stories, draw comfort and learn from these stories. And that's because our stories matter. You, whoever you are watching this video, you are pure literature. You have character. You are based in a certain location and time frame that provides your settings. You have different chapters in your life. This is one of the reasons I love meeting new people, because meeting a new person is like finding a new book. If you are privileged enough for someone to tell you their story, it's so eye-opening. It's like discovering a whole new world that you would not have known if that person had not shared it with you. There is meaning to our stories, whether we are aware of it or not. Our stories overlap sometimes, which can be fascinating. Let's say you meet someone today, right? You go to the store, you bump into a person, you befriend that person. Imagine all the different layers of your story that eventually led you to align with another person, and all the layers in their story that led to them being in front of you on that day. Every person you met from your school, from your work, from university, from the road, from a concert, all the different people you met have a story. They have a book. And these books go all the way back to our ancestors and the decisions that they made that go into their book. And we never really know how much space we occupy in other people's books. You may be a sentence, you may be a whole paragraph, you may be a chapter. I also like to look at people as different genres. Some people are comedies, some people are drama. Some of you, your whole story is just full of romance, everyday romance. Some people are poems, others are textbooks, psychology textbooks, DSM-5, respectfully. Your story might not seem cohesive because you're in it. You're living your life, not in chapters, but day by day, and the days can seamlessly flow into one another. Things happen and then they pause, so we might not be aware of our story, but I find that documenting our stories can be very helpful. A simple way to document your story is to weave together the different circumstances and chapters and patterns and characters through journaling. There are various ways to journal. I'll be sharing how I journal and why you should too. The easiest form of self-documenting, and one that I think most people already do, is through photos and videos. Creating little snapshots of our lives, allowing us to capture memories, even if the memories are not significant. You weren't going to an event, nothing special happened, it was just a regular day, and you take a picture and you save it. Invest in a hard drive. Time is such a strange concept. It goes quickly and it goes slowly, and before you know it, you'll be looking back at pictures that you took 20 years ago. You can go one layer deeper and just vlog your life. Take snippets of a day in your life, string it together. That's something I used to do. I did it for 3 months straight years ago, and I forgot. But if I had to look back at those videos, I think it would be so amusing. The place I used to live, the job I used to do, the people I had around. You don't have to post these, you don't have to share it with anyone. These snippets of your story belong to no one else but you. In the video category, I would also suggest just putting your camera up and speaking to it. There are different people in your life, and sometimes, okay, this is now a personal opinion. When you meet someone and you start talking to them, right, you can share parts of your life, but they know like the 3-month version of you. They don't have the backstory. They don't have the prequel and the sequel. They don't have the foreword. And catching people up on things sometimes is exhausting, okay? If you've been alive for like 30 years, then that's 30 years to catch someone up on, you know? And it's just sometimes easier to speak to people who have context of you. And if you're not able to do so, guess what? You have context on you. So you can just set up the camera and just start talking and free flowing and capture that. 18 years down the line, when you look at this video of yourself, there you are with your baby face talking about problems that don't matter to the future version of yourself, but somehow are still part of your story. Take videos of yourself enjoying life, take videos of yourself yapping and dancing, because time is moving. It's moving so quickly. Everyone here is aging. You want to be able to look back at your videos and be like, oh, I used to kick like that. I could get down like that. One of my favorite videos of my late father is one where he was dancing. He was sitting, but he was just dancing, just vibing. And trust me, if you don't appreciate those videos, the people who love you will. Another form of journaling is the traditional written journal. I have several of these. I'm looking at a stack of journals in front of me that I'm going to go through, but it's so overwhelming, okay? But there's a reason I have so many. It's really effective. You don't need a pattern. You don't need a guide. You can have these things. Not against it. You can literally just journal one sentence. I didn't start out with so many forms of journals, but I slowly developed it over time because I found the need for it. The first one, which I tend to fill up pretty quickly, is the spiritual journal, and it contains things I've learned, things from the Bible, things from sermons, things I've gathered from certain scriptures, questions, a lot of questions, prayers. You can assess your spiritual evolution and you can reflect. I don't read my journals frequently, but I've been doing that now because I feel like I need to. I feel like I need to remember certain things. Let's go through something. This journal is from when? Do I have dates on this? My goodness, I don't have dates. I was just writing. 7th February 2018. This is 8 years ago. Okay, spiritual journal. Another form of documenting would be to journal the things on your mind and on your heart, meaning your mental and emotional state. Now, this one can provide a lot of clarity. It can bring order to the chaos in your mind. When I was looking at the story of creation, I noticed the pattern of how separation can bring order. So we have light being separated from the dark. We have the water below being separated from the water above through a firmament. We have land being separated from sea. We have vegetation being produced according to their kind, meaning vegetation being divided by their species, right? So there's the apple tree, there's the orange tree, there's avocado tree, there's potatoes growing. All of these plants being created according to their kind. So there's some kind of separation which brings about order. When you look at the animals and the birds and the fish, they're separated according to their kinds as well. So different species. When we journal about our mind and emotion, we can bring structure and order to the thoughts that we have, to the emotions that we have. I really like the concept of the emotion wheel. I was going to call it the color wheel. The emotion wheel, where our emotions can be, I don't want to say separated, but you can feel a certain emotion and not have the vocabulary for this emotion. Or you can feel a certain emotion and it can be mixed with different emotions. But when you look at the color wheel, you'll be able to identify, oh man, I am both disappointed and sad. Just find that when you journal, you can just dump on the journal. So it doesn't have to have a structure or a pattern or anything. You can literally just, the things on your heart, throw them in the journal. When you look back at it, you might be able to notice certain triggers. Some thoughts are messy in my mind, but when I put them on paper, it just starts to make more sense. And in the process, I find the vocabulary to describe how I'm feeling, which I think is beneficial not just for yourself, but for people around you. Because when you have conversations with people, despite where they're at or what they're facing, you might be able to empathize better because you have processed your own emotions. You have been able to identify times in your life where you might be feeling the way the other person is feeling. The emotions that we feel are universal, even if the circumstances that brought about those emotions are different. We all know. If we don't all know, I hope one day you do discover what it feels like to be sharing something that you're going through and for someone to look at you and say, I understand, I get it. Sometimes when one of my friends is comforting me, she doesn't even tell me what I should do or how I should feel. She just tells me about a certain time when she went through something similar. And as she's describing the story, as she's describing the emotions, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Me too. That's exactly how I feel. It's just the thing about feeling seen, feeling heard, like, oh yes, someone truly, truly understands what I'm saying. When I say it out loud, it feels like such a funny way to find comfort. But welcome to being human, right? It's really fun. Let me go through this. Let me go through an older emotional mental journal. I'm reading this for the first time with you, so I don't know. Aww. I mentioned names, so I'm going to skip that. This is from 2 years ago, nearing to my birthday.
Yesterday, I had a few challenges. I didn't sleep too well. I woke up at 4 a.m. In the morning, prepared to go to Gwaja.
Oh, shame. No, I just recall something sad that happened. I'm censoring myself because I mentioned names. Oh, I recorded a full-on trauma. Can't put that on the internet. What? Oh, my handwriting is not legible here. Okay, this is a good one. This is a gratitude list. Another type of journal I have is a dream journal. I like to write down my dreams. I haven't done it in a long time because these days I've been waking up with so much to do, rushing through the day, so I don't write down my dreams. I like to remember my dreams. I like to know what I dreamt of. Let's see. Let me look for a short one. And if you can interpret dreams, let me know what it means. I snorted cocaine. Why was I dreaming about that? You guys, I've never had cocaine in my life. I don't know why I would do that in a dream. I was in an Amish community, but it was for black people. Dreams are so weird. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. The next journal is not so much about documenting your life, it's more about planning for your life. And I do so in the form of a planner journal. It is falling apart, okay? I have the back completely out and the front is okay. It's okay. It's quite a big journal. I had it for years. In this journal, I write my plans for my health routine. This is basically where my health journal was birthed. I also budget. I also write down monthly plans for myself. Each month, I will write down the different goals for my mind, the different goals for my emotions, the different goals for my friends, the different like birthdays. I'm not making goals on behalf of my friends, but if they are birthdays, I should remembering to buy gifts, remembering to check on certain friends. Maybe I haven't spoken to them for a while. Financial goals are written in here. I budget in this journal. Personal goals as well are in here. What I'd do is I'd write down my monthly goals, and then after 2 weeks, ideally, I would go back and see which of the goals, very loose goals, did I achieve and which ones do I want to continue with, which ones did I completely forget about, but in a very no pressure way. Like I'm not holding myself to it. Sometimes I forget to check in after 2 weeks, so I would do it at the end of the month again when I'm budgeting. So I would look at the physical goals, the mental goals, the emotional goals, the social goals, the professional goals, things like that. This planning journal is just a way for you to keep yourself accountable and to push yourself forward. So you're not just getting hit with inspiration every month you have a new goal, or every time you just plan on doing things but you actually never get to it. When you plan by journaling, you're able to look back and reroute. You're able to find out why certain things are not working and how you can make them work. This is also the journal where I plan my yearly goals. So at the beginning of the year, I'll say, okay, this is what I want for myself. Now, I don't reach all the goals, not at all, but then I break up the annual goal into months, but I don't do it all in one go. So I'm not planning January to December in one sitting. I'm just focusing on what can I do in January? What are the little things I can do every day that feed into this monthly goal, which ultimately feeds into the yearly goal? Another form of documenting would be to document your health. Okay. This is the Doctor Within journal. It's a journal that I created, and the concept came about through my planning journal. In the planning journal, I would plan how I would tackle certain health issues. A small example is my skin. So I had acne before. I was able to get clearer skin through journaling. I wrote down the problem and I found solutions. The first solution obviously was topical skincare, so things that I was putting on my skin. And that did not help because the problem was not the surface, right? The problem was much deeper. I did blood tests separately. I was doing blood tests, like annual blood tests, to find out what's happening in my body. And that's when I realized that my hormones needed me to take care of them. They needed some TLC. And then I addressed my hormonal health. And the byproduct of that was clearer skin. But not only do I have a blueprint of what I did to address my hormonal health, I've used myself as a case study. So now if I see a little drop of oilier skin, I'm like, aha, it's my hormones again. So I can go back on the very same supplements I used to regulate my hormones, which I have wrote about in a health journal. So if you have a health concern, if you would like to have more clarity on how your lifestyle is contributing to your health, I recommend journaling about it, depending on what the condition is. If you have gut issues, a food diary for 7 days can be helpful. If you would like to build more strength, if you would like to build muscle, you can literally journal your progress. This is something I was doing when I was trying to do a pull-up. These health journals are only available in Thailand and South Africa. In South Africa, you can just click the link in my homepage. Or no, the link should be in the description. You can click the link in the description if you're in South Africa and if you'd like a copy of your own Doctor Within Health journal. I'll also leave a discount code that provides free delivery, so you can use that at checkout to get a journal without paying for the delivery fee. It's on me. Why? Because you are here watching this video and you are liking and you're sharing and you're subscribing, which is helping the algorithm, which is my marketing. So you're helping me to market, okay? So you deserve free shipping. If you're in Thailand, you can reach out to me on any of the social media platforms and I'll be able to send it to you. Doctor Within Health journals also contain different habits that you can choose for your sleep, for your nutrition, for your exercise, and your stress management, all habits that I've used to see successful lifestyle transformations in my clients. You can have a healthier routine as well, which leads to a healthier version of you without the need of having a consultation with me by getting your hands on one of these journals. It's been helpful for me. Form of documenting number 7, 8, or 9. I don't know where we are, but this form of documenting is my favorite ones because it captures your ideas and transforms them into art. This is my ideas journal. I have 2. The ideas journal is just words or sentences that get transformed into poetry. And then the ABL is a journal I started, oh my gosh. I got this journal as a gift. Disclaimer, most of the journals I have don't belong to me. These are just gifts that I got. The ABL is the one that I started, I think I want to say 12, because I don't have it here with me. But I would just start writing down ideas that I would like to create art from at some point. Many, many, many ideas that have not been converted to art. But it was my art bucket list. And the only one that I can remember from my first ABL, my first art bucket list, was a phrase that I wrote that said something along the lines of, I just want to close my eyes and listen to your imagination. And then I made a little drawing out of it, which I'm going to post. I need you to first think of what that sentence would be transformed into. Okay, just imagine. If I had to transform that sentence into art, what would it look like? Please lower your expectations before I post the picture. Okay, now lower them a little bit more. I don't remember what or who the inspiration was. I can just imagine that it might have been a conversation I had with someone that mentally intrigued me and led to the sentence, which led to the drawing. I don't know the details. Okay, my most recent art bucket list, which, oh, it's shameful I have not made anything from here. Let's see. We cannot escape our origins, however hard we try. Those origins, which contain the key, could we but find it, to all that we later become. I think that that is a James Baldwin quote. It reads as James Baldwin. I think I was reading his book. I don't remember the name of the book. I think it's his collection of essays. To the same world, I am perfection and appalling. Today I took something from the rainbow. We're so used to seeing people suffer, we've become indifferent and unattached to others' pain. The artist's disease is perfection. The following is from my ideas journal that become poems. I don't have a name for this journal, but it says, okay. You were deceived into always looking for a good time. And that, I think, if I remember correctly, is probably about how people do a lot for pleasure. And we tend to measure our success or measure our well-being by how much pleasure is in our lives. But that's not our everyday reality. What makes pleasurable things pleasurable is that they're not constant. Because if you had to be in a constant state of delight, the flavor of the delightfulness will lose itself. It gets diluted if you're constantly feeling good. So I think the point of this line was that we were sold a dream that the dream life is all good, where in fact, sometimes things are bad, sometimes we're uncomfortable, and that's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. Life wasn't made to be easy, it was made to be lived. Sometimes a thought will come like a whisper in the air. The art was never meant to love the audience. Honorary mention is a journal I write things in that I learn. So it's an ideas journal, but not my ideas per se. The things that I learn, it just depends on what I'm obsessed with that week, if I'm learning that week, because it's also not, there's no pattern or time frame with any of these journals I mentioned. It's very sporadic, but it's frequent enough to serve its purpose. Just learning because I want to know what happens next. I want to know what this word means. I want to know what is the Latin for this word. And in 2 weeks' time, I'll have another obsession, very niche, something I might never speak about, something I might never have the opportunity to casually bring up in a conversation. Just learn for fun. The final form of documenting. Now we've reached the end. Oh my gosh, I've been speaking forever. The final form of documenting is normal day-to-day planning, and this was a gift as well. And it was a very important gift because the quote is backwards. I think my video is going to show up backwards, but it always seems impossible until it's done, and that's something that Nelson Mandela said, and I needed it at the time when I got this. But planning my day-to-day things, I don't plan every day. The past 1% weekly challenge is proof of that. I failed dismally to write my to-do list. I did 2 out of 14 days, and the other days I was just running out the house trying to survive. So I didn't write my to-do list. I just find helpful for days when I'm overwhelmed by tasks and I'm able to list out what I'm going to do, like what's a priority, where do I begin, and just working my way through it. So if you have a plan, if you have an event or you're traveling, I think it's really helpful to just write down everything you have to do. Like you have to get the visa, you need to pack, don't forget to pack this, so that you can look at it and be organized, you know, get things done in a formal and orderly manner. Those are all the ways that you can document your life. You don't have to pick all of them, just one will suffice. I hope that you begin with one sentence or one journal, one book, and continue, because I know for a fact that the future version of you is going to look back and be so grateful. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10. Start today, write something little, write it on a piece of paper until you're able to get an actual journal if you don't have one already, because your life is worth documenting. Your life is meaningful, there's purpose in it, and who knows, it might save another person's life. So until next time, take care.